Hello, welcome to the weekly wind-up with myself, Emma Kirke. If you're a regular viewer, you will likely have seen the programme about adoption schemes. But my guests today have not only been adopting children, they've also been adopting children with autism and medical issues. They've recently received accolades for their inspirational works from the Yorkshire Choice Awards, and some people identify them as celebrities or influencers. Fundamentally though, I think they're very caring and kind individuals, and I'm very pleased to have them on the show today. Welcome, Michael and Paul.
Thank you, Emma.
Hi, it's great to be here. It's great to meet you as well.
I know, and I don't look like a cartoon, so that's all right. Not like my profile picture on Facebook. So you've been married for 11 years, right?
Yes.
Okay. At what point during that time together did you kind of get together yourselves and think, I want to adopt? What happened?
We originally got together, we met each other in 2002, didn't we? So then I think we'd built up as careers and got settled with home and everything first, and then we have as my sister's children and stuff a lot as well, and then we thought, is it time for us, didn't we? We're 5 years, 6 years in.
Yeah, we always thought of the idea of becoming parents, didn't we, ourselves? But we never rushed it, did we? We kind of let it take its natural course when the time was right for us as a couple. And that seems years ago. Absolutely years ago.
Well, it actually is years ago,
yeah.
isn't it?
So, and here we are now.
So how did you go about it? I mean, I've had people talking on the show about difficulties they've faced, and sometimes obviously same-sex marriages being more difficult. How did you go about kind of starting the ball rolling?
Well, there were different options at first, weren't there? We thought about surrogacy, but Paul were adopted himself, and we are kind of researched into it, and there's that many thousands of children that were needing a home.
Yeah.
That were his obvious choice, wasn't it?
It seemed to be very natural, that path, for us as a couple. So we kind of spoke to local authorities, different adoption agencies, and kind of at that point we kind of got all the information we needed, but then we kind of sat on it for a while.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
We never kind of rushed any of this because it had to be right for us both, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's a lifelong commitment, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
So, and then that's how it happened, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did a lot of research, and we made sure we were settled and financially stable first. We'd got our own home and stuff, hadn't we? And before we committed to looking after children.
So I know there was a slight kind of difference. You were adopting, and the children that you adopted ended up having autism and epilepsy.
That's right. So our oldest twin boys, Levi and Lucas, we were under the impression they were delayed globally. There was no spoken issue about any of the medical terms or anything like that, was there? So we kind of started to love these boys immediately, and it grew, didn't it? It just grew, the love for them.
Well, Levi and Lucas just came to us with some development delay, so we just thought they were a little bit behind other children. And then at 2-year-old, the health visitors were raising more concerns that Levi still wasn't walking, and there was no speech, and their eye contact were quite delayed as well. So then we had input from the paediatrician, and kind of they were speaking about autism. We didn't know that much about it at the time, did we?
No, at that time we'd heard the word autism, like I think a lot of people do know the word autism, but I still think in today's society there's still a lack of understanding about autism, because the spectrum is so vast. You know, just because you meet one person that's got autism, that doesn't mean you understand autism. I think it's like any other disability. All disabilities are so different and so unique, and we are very much about promoting that and getting it out there, obviously because of the situation we're in now with the boys. But back to becoming parents, we didn't so they weren't diagnosed with anything, were they?
No, and then so we had more input from different professionals, occupational therapists and different things, and then age 3 at their nursery there were a big meeting with all the professionals around the table, and the paediatrician kind of laid it online that with all the assessments and stuff that they are severely autistic, which were tough at the time, wasn't it?
I was going to say, how did you cope? Because that, you've now got kind of a different future.
Yeah.
And it's not quite what you anticipated, I suppose.
So that day, I remember that day so well, Emma, when somebody says your child is now diagnosed with this. It was heartbreaking because you didn't want your child to be known as a label.
Yeah.
And so from that moment in time, once we kind of got over the shock of, wow, they now have this label for the rest of their life, but we don't want them to be known as
The child
autism.
with autism. Yeah.
You are our son.
Yeah.
You're not autism, you're our son.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. So then I think we kind of just learned to fight it all the time and get ourselves out there and get them the best possible treatment from day one. And we had to, because we're here to advocate for them. And if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
I think,
it's part of your role as parents, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think when you've got children with special needs, you find that deeper inner strength, don't you, to do that.
Looking after the boys has never really been the issue. It's been fighting for all the right support and equipment that's been really difficult.
Yeah.
We have found that hard, haven't we, over the years, because it's a constant battle just getting the right medications. And
is that because it's a lack of understanding from the departments that you're dealing with, or is it a lack of knowledge that we have of where to go to?
I think a lot of it is funding.
Okay.
It's the funding issues, isn't it, that we found that's the problem. But I mean, like Paul was saying, we wanted the boys to just do everything as normal as much as they could.
Yeah.
So I mean, we took them to parks and supermarkets and stuff, and they would get really upset and distressed, and people would comment, "Oh, they're naughty, control your children," and things like that.
And society in general can be so cruel.
Yeah.
And then we did withdraw a bit then, didn't we? Because we were getting these comments all the time, and we didn't really want the boys to be around all that.
And it did affect us as adults as well, because we're not machines. Like yourself, nobody can just take that all the time, and where it just personally doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the boys' first holiday abroad were to Aruba, and we went to the GPs to discuss it, didn't we? And he were like, "Oh no, it's not fair on the other passengers if they're screaming on the plane and they upset other people on the plane." And they actually prescribed them diazepam to keep them calm.
Yeah.
But we never used that.
that was a 10-hour flight, their first flight, and everybody said to us, "What are you doing? You are crazy." And we were like, "Yeah, we know that, but if we do not start doing this now, we can't introduce it when they're older." And it was one of the best decisions we ever did, wasn't it? Because we had a great time out there, and now we take them to America all the time, and they're great on the flights. Because
like you say, you've got them used to the process.
Yeah,
absolutely. And
they
even
become part of the routine, isn't it? And they can still get upset in the airport.
So can I, though, to be honest.
But on
on
the plane, they're fine though, aren't they? And it's like, if we didn't do it from that young age,
they wouldn't be able to do it now.
We'd just be isolating ourselves even more, wouldn't we?
Because we have to push them all the time as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't want to wrap them up in cotton wool.
No.
Because
you want them to be the best that they can be, don't you?
Absolutely, with us beside them. That's the best way for them to learn. And
is that sort of the thing that you do with the charities that you work with?
Yeah. So we work with quite a few different charities. My AFK, which works with like 0 to 25-year-olds, and they've helped us previously with special needs tandem bikes for the boys, because they can't ride their own bikes, so we needed that where they could be on a bike with us. And we're now actually ambassadors for that charity.
Which
we
is
work
great,
with
isn't it?
the National Autistic Society and featuring a lot of their campaigns just to try and break down taboos and barriers for other people and get it out there as much as we can about the different spectrums of autism and the different types of disabilities. And the times are changing, aren't they?
They are slowly changing, I think. And I think the more you put yourself out there to show society that all disabilities are not visible, the better it will be for everybody. Absolutely.
It kind of sounds to me a little bit, I mean, this is going to sound a bit cliche, but it actually sounds to me like you were supposed to have these two boys.
Well, we cannot imagine our life without them.
Because the work that you're doing
now
is amazing, isn't it? And you're promoting it, and somebody else might not have done that same thing.
No. A lot of families really struggle and they isolate themselves, and it can be really difficult, especially for lone parents with children like the boys. And it's sad because we see it ourselves, a lot of them end up in residential because it gets too much, but we've tried to go the opposite way and turn it into a positive and try and help other people as well, haven't we, over the years.
And you've adopted 2 younger
Yeah.
as well.
We have. So we have another set of identical twin boys who are 2 in August. So the house is crazy. So if you ever want to pop by and help with childcare,
Oh yeah, thanks very much. I'll make that in mind.
And help out with childcare.
So I know I said in the introduction about being celebrities and influencers, you can help other parents with the situation. But do you feel like celebrities? Because I know you've done a fair few bits and pieces now, haven't you?
No, we are just ourselves
Yeah.
all the time, you know. And our passion is making sure people are treated fairly. That's what's so important for us, because here you have a family set up, same-sex couple, 4 children now, 2 mainstream children, and 2 boys with profound disabilities. So we kind of break all those barriers and taboos, and that we use that as a skill to get ourselves out there and to show the world what it's like to be yourself and have those disabilities and those medical conditions, but what you can still achieve as well.
Yeah.
I think originally when we first started out, we were one of the first same-sex couples, weren't we, to be having children in this way, because it had only just been legalised like a few years before that.
Yeah.
Now
breaking moulds, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's really common now. I think it's 1 in 8.
It's 1 in 8.
1 in 8 into
adoptions.
UK adoptions is to same-sex couple, so
Okay.
it's like, it's a massive difference now.
You know, and there's still a lot of people out there that disagree with same-sex couples adopting and stuff. And, you know, we respect that. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, you know. But I think what a lot of people still need to remember is it's not about our sexuality. It's about the love, the stability of that child. That's what the most important part is here, and the life that you can give that child. Absolutely.
And the amount of thousands of children that are still in foster care waiting for adoption.
Yeah, and it's like you say, a safe, loving environment where they can be the best that they can be.
You know,
have that opportunity.
Absolutely, and the process for adoption can be a long process. It can feel like a long process, can't it? You know, and I think what we would say to anybody who was possibly thinking about adopting and going through the process is, we always see things like that as a personal therapy session. That's how we always look at it. So you have to be as open as possible, and just kind of don't hide anything. And if you've had challenges in your life, talk about those, because it's those challenges that where you can show that you have overcome those different challenges, isn't it? The more
I was actually going to ask, if somebody is watching and they want to get in touch with you and maybe they're going through something similar, you know, how can they do that?
Well, we do have that a lot. So we've got us like Facebook page, that Atwal-Brice family, where people message us quite a lot about adoption, fostering and disabilities, and where to get support and things.
I love your lives as well, you do.
Have you seen the Dancing Daddy videos with Levi? You know, that came by mistake, that. Because, you know, we are always trying to engage with the boys and interact with them, and Levi and Lucas are both non-verbal. So, you know, we wanted to communicate with them for a way for them to understand us. And it just came by accident, because obviously my background was dancing. So there was one day, and music's really important in our house, isn't it? Because, you know, music can make you feel happy, it can make you feel sad, it can bring all those emotions. And we are very much about talking and showing all those emotions. That's who we are, and I think that's why it works well. But I was just dancing around in the house, and next thing, Levi was really watching me and flapping his arms. And that was so good to see, because that was him interacting with me. And it's about learning to interact in different ways all the time.
Well, the live videos and the social media has been brilliant for us, because people contact us from like America and all over the world.
Wow.
You know, like special needs equipment and things sometimes is really hard to find and source. And if people see Levi and Lucas using certain equipment or specialist bikes and things, it can be hard to find on the internet. So if we can just send them a link like that in the messages, it's really helpful for a lot of families, isn't it?
So what are you going to be up to next?
So soon we are going to be having a family holiday, aren't we?
Yeah.
And then we are going to be filming a new TV programme, which is due to come out possibly autumn.
Okay.
but we will be announcing that on our social media pages,
Yeah.
won't we? I really want to tell you on camera what it is, Emma, but we can't.
No, I know.
But you know, I will tell you off camera, and your viewers, you know, if they're watching and they're interested, you know, please follow us on our social media pages.
Yeah.
But that will be a really big program.
Yeah,
You know.
and beneficial, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, just be yourself and be proud of who you are. That's exactly who we are.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for coming and talking to me today. It's been a pleasure. And I'm sure it'll be a success, your TV show, whatever it's about.
And it's been great to meet you finally as well.
Thank you, thank you. If you want to contact us about this or any other topic you see on KLTV, our social media contact details are on the screen. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Emma Kirke. Goodbye for now.